What's up, fellow lords of gaming? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're jumping in with some Marvel Future Fight content, specifically the update details for Echo. The 423 patch details have been released. We're gonna get a rolling update starting tonight around 8 o'clock. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm not exactly excited about Echo. I doubt there's that many people excited about Echo. So this is gonna be real quick and dirty. There's something a little bit more that I am interested in, but it may just be me and my crazy elements. So, let's talk about Echo, though. Maya Lopez inside here. Not a bad character. I love the actress that plays her, but let's talk about it. So, anyways, inside here, she's got a litany of characters that she has to compete with at the tier 4 branding, right? So, these characters in of themselves basically form a big bulwark for her to accomplish over, because you could always receive uniforms and updates for these characters. They're very popular characters in Spider-Gwen, Gamora, Luna Snow, and we have the potentiality for an update to Gwenpool as well inside there. Now, there's some characters that fall behind her that probably won't receive updates, but the one that we could take a look at is the Yelena Belova character inside here, because we do know the Thunderbolts is filming, so we do know that there's an update coming, so she could possibly be receiving her tier 4, as more than likely she's set to lead the Thunderbolts. I don't imagine a world where they don't come back and give Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova an update inside here, especially as she takes over the role basically of Black Widow. So we could potentially see that, right? Now, here goes, that's where pretty much, everything ends. We can look at the uniform in its details, but realistically, I hate to say this, there are not very many changes to this uniform. Like, we almost seem like we hit another area of Ebony Maw, basically, where it's like slight adjustments and things like that to skills, and that's it. So, like, for instance, let's start off with her uniform effect inside of here, right? So the uniform effect brings out the worst of the things, because you realize that Maya Lopez Echo is going to basically be a biometrics character for you. The only way that you're going to get it is that 30 biometrics daily, so be prepared to either pay, or if you have been playing story mode and collecting, upgrade tickets, then you could possibly get an upgrade from there. Otherwise, this update is going to cost you some money for a character that most people probably are not going to be intrigued by. So let's take a look again at some of her skills inside of here. So the uniform effect is basically changed just a little bit, because it's the same thing that it was before underneath here, with the addition that we're increasing. We're going to add the excluding bosses, ignore enemies, damage decrease by 30%. And we'll get a little bit upgrade to this decreased basic damage received by 25%. Okay. So that's there. Next up, we get on her skills. We're going to take a look at these. Shit, I don't know why I previewed any of these skills. I don't want to preview these skills. Let's go out of here. The next updates that we get is like her hero's passive, and then her 2 passive abilities, which there really aren't any updates to this. Like, I hate to say it, like they called it out in the patch notes, and I'm like, why? Hero's Promise has no updates to it. I mean, we're basically getting the increased bonus damage to 25%, and that's it on the skill. When we look at the Vengeance Begins, it's exactly the same thing. It's decreased the chain hit damage by 20%, and then the target rate by 20%. Her first skill, which is Rising Uppercut, gets a name change to Talk Tall Smash, but it brings probably the most important thing that I want to talk about inside this is little, like, we'll see this, but you see here the stun is basically reduced for 3 seconds, and then we get the physical damage 130 now instead of 100, and we get an additional damage that's 1611 of physical damage, right? Next up is her third skill. We get a little bit of a change here, and that she keeps the accumulation basically all stays there the same. The recovery is all the same. So there's not a whole lot of change here at all on this skill. The stun is all there. The only big change is that we get the physical damage is decreased to 80%, and then we get the same thing again with an additional 15 physical damage. And then we get her fourth skill, Merciless Revenge. It's a stun of 2 seconds and a paralysis on the skill. Now for 3 seconds, so she gains the stun, and then everything else is the same, with the exception that the 100% chance to grant all damage immunity is now 5 seconds of invincibility. And again, we get the physical damage is increased to 130%, and then we get an additional 1611 physical damage. So, okay, before we jump into what it is I'm talking about, we get the titanium stomp, and this is where we get a deviation. The stun is decreased to 2 seconds. We keep the incapacitation inside the skill, and then the frenzy buff pretty much remains the same. It's 41 and 40, and the physical damage is nerfed to 95, and the additional is nerfed to 81. That's pretty much where it ends for Maya Lopez. You're going to look like you're going to need to T4 this character simply because her T4 does give you the 50% increase of max HP. And then you can see here the activation is basically when you use a non-regular attack, so any one of your 3, 4, 5 skills, the increase all basic attack is increased by 30% for each time you use one of those skills up to a max of 90. So basically throughout your rotation, right? So if you would go 3, 4, 5, while that tier 4 is activated, 30, 60, 90 is basically what you get. And you got 8 seconds to pull it off, which likely means that she doesn't have any long delay cancels in her skill. Otherwise, they just fucked up. But that's where we start to get into what I believe to be our probably May update surprises to come. And specifically, I found it really weird that inside of here, you look at the 1, the 3, and the 5 and the 4 skill, and they all have like 1611 physical damage. Like, it just seemed very coincidental to me that all of these had additional physical damages of 1611. So we did get an update inside the dev note that basically told us, hey, you guys got all of the hero voting poll. We're going to introduce some characters and some updates based on those hero polling events. So that got me to thinking, why would they call out 1611? Is that coincidence or is that call out? I have a feeling that it's call out. You guys can leave a comment in the section below. Do you believe like I believe, or do you believe it was just pure coincidence that they just made all the skills 1611? Because the moment I typed inside 1611, the first thing to pop up was Earth 1611, the age of Sentry. Now, Sentry was the #1 character voted inside the hero polling event that needed an update. And immediately when you type in that 1611, you get the age of Sentry with this uniform look, basically, with the mask, the cowled mask, basically. It's really weird. I don't know that is true to be true, but could we see an Earth 1611 update for Sentry and basically get this uniform for him? Or am I just off my goddamn rocker? I mean, I don't know. To be perfectly honest, there are other characters inside the 1611 universe as well that basically made appearances inside there. I wonder if it's like, if it's not, there are obviously other heroes in the 1611 universe that could basically come. I don't know that to be any more true or less true, but it just seemed very coincidental that in Echo's kit, we get 1611 mentioned 3 times inside there. And it's hard for me to argue that it's a coincidence. Just really hard for me to argue that it's a coincidence. So let me know in the comment section below, do you believe that that's where we're heading in the May update with an Earth 1611? It's probably a great stand-in for Deadpool coming out in July, so we could potentially see that. Along with that, we got a 9-year anniversary comic card, and it's Crescent and Io. Crescent and Io weren't very high up on the list inside the hero polling event, but they were definitely listed as characters that needed upgrades and in the hero polling event. So could we see a Crescent and Io update as well? Sentry, Crescent and Io, 2 tier 4s inside the game. Could that happen inside the May 9-year anniversary event update? Along with that, Ebony Maw has received some skill effect changes and improvements basically on his Dark Obsidian armor uniform. It was listed still as 40% increase of energy attack. Now it's going to be 50% increase of energy attack. And then they enhanced the stat percentage of Ebony Maw's leader scapular. Does not apply, has been fixed for his skills. So maybe he'll be better. I don't know. Like, to be perfectly honest, I love his skills and the VFXs that they've done. But I'm really feeling like something's behind the scenes there with the age of Sentry. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below again. But I am dying to see, maybe, hey, I could be standing a man alone here in my thought process. But maybe we get an Earth 1611 Sentry update and Echo has been used as a catalyst for somebody else. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Until next time, guys. Peace.